gentlemen, and all others, goats and ducks included, pups too. Speaking of pups, I moved 2 dogs from one high security lockdown area to another today to make room for Esteban, because, well, Esteban had been missing several days and we went through a lot of drama to get him back, including me landing in the emergency room with a contusion of my ribs from falling onto a cypress knee in the woods when searching for him. He was returned by some neighbors who found him about 5 miles away. We're very happy for that, folks. Thank you, neighbors. Thank you. It's good that you're doing something good for us here. Back one day and already gets lost again today while I'm out changing the starter in the Hyundai Elantra and tuning up with new plugs and spark plug wires and cleaning things up in the engine, getting the Hyundai running, the fuel efficient vehicle, getting that up and running again here. So I go back to the fenced-in area where I put him. It was about a 20 by 30 foot area, and he's gone. So he doesn't usually jump fences, but he got over the fence and he went, and I pretty much figured he went to the west. And other goats had been out there. Some other goats had come back earlier. I guess they heard me calling out even from a distance, but I drove all the way around there. It's like a mile drive up to the high grounds up there where an emerging woods after clear cutting had been, and sunny open big meadows, big acreage, and a oil well. And there's Esteban right there with Bronzino, another big buck. So they were foraging and running about, but Esteban is still confused, disoriented, and he cannot be out there. We will lose him again like that. So I loaded him up in the vehicle, held him down. He was bucking and trying to really, he's strong too, and he's getting this, his strength is back, he's eating, he's strong. He was just dazed and confused. He was never really weakened that much, but anyway, strong. But I managed to get him back. Got him here in the cabin, and a couple other little goats in here. My new little boy here, and this little girl here. And where is he? He's back here. Here's Esteban. Right, Esteban? So tomorrow morning, I'm going to go put him in the high security lockdown area there, and cut a lot of things for him to eat, and I'll have hay and pellets. He's getting pellets now, some new pellets actually that have some ammonium chloride. We thought we'd excuse me. Oh, it's not easy when you got the ribs like this. Don't want to be coughing too much. Excuse me, my hair is all over the place here. So we need to lock him down tomorrow. Got the Hyundai running. Lost the key to the Jeep when searching for the goat. It's been missing now for 2 days, and I've spent hours exhaustively searching, bringing 2 orange cones out to this area and going row by row, trying to look all the grasses. It has an orange string on the key. I mean, it did when I lost it. Doesn't help that there's a bunch of orange weeds out there. Okay, but they're thinner, but doesn't help. I don't know. Eyesight isn't what it used to be, but I think I got to go back again. It's how many passes am I going to make? Where the hell is that key? I'm exhaustively searching. Tore the vehicle apart, completely cleaned it out. Bags of trash. It's amazing how stuff stacks up in no time at all. rearranged some things, took some things out of the vehicle. I'm short on storage, so a lot of stuff is stored in the vehicle. The tools I use the most frequently, I don't have a dedicated tool shed right now where everything's hanging up nice, so most of it ends up staying in the vehicles. 2 vehicles full of tools. Anyways, it gets better in the future, folks, but it's still tough. It's always going to be tough, okay, but it's especially tough. So what else? Hibiscus is flowering and fruiting. Phenomenal growth. I need to get on the harvest. Well, I'm still late on some other harvests. I've missed some harvests completely, and then other harvests are going bad because I'm not getting them in time. There's so much work to do with harvesting and processing. I won't go down the list, folks, but herbs is a big thing. I got a lot of herbs right now. They need to be harvested. I got huge basil plants flowering, and purple and green basil, oregano. I've got mint of different types flowering with the wonderful flowers. Those need to be captured right now. I've got, of course, the goldenrod. That just started flowering days ago. It's time to harvest goldenrod. That's a big one. We make some nice teas with goldenrod, some blends like goldenrod, hibiscus, mint, hibiscus and mint, and yopon, holly for some caffeine. All these things grow out here, folks, in abundance. It's just a matter of harvesting and processing, of course, marketing and selling, but we're the best at that because we give the best prices. We're not greedy. Just need to do the work. So it's been another one of those days where most of the day went to some specialized labor on the vehicle. It takes me a long time, folks. I had to do a lot of walking too. About 3 miles I walked at least, and then kind of ride the rest of the way. Without the help, I would have had to walk over 20 miles to get to the parts store to get my replacement starter under warranty, fortunately. The starter that's just 4 months old went bad. So it's good I had it under warranty because I got it replaced without any cost except, of course, the time and the extra material, the brake cleaning liquid and the oil and just other things I'm using, but whatever, it's just mainly time. So there's so much to do. There's a lot of planting to do. I got to keep going with the pea seed and carrot seed, beet seed. First thing in the morning, I'm going out to put in some beet seed in a few rows here. Just there's some areas I got to get it started right now, especially where the high tunnel is coming, because that stuff needs to be planted now to get a little crop before the frost, and hopefully we get the high tunnel up on there and get them growing all the way through the winter. I got a big cast iron stove out there that I need to set up once the high tunnel is in. Anyways, the tiller, it's upside down out there. I took the wheels off because they were completely flat. They were not just flat, they were disintegrated. I bought 2 new tires online. They came, got them mounted in Pensacola. Yes, Pensacola, they charged me a decent price. Some Latinos, they gave me a fair price. Not the local guys here that are going to charge $30 to put on 2 little tires. They did it all for 20. I gave them $20. That's fine. They mounted 2 tires on the rims. Nice. They're nice new tires. So I think early in the morning is one of the first things I'm going to do there is get them tires on that tiller, clean up those blades, and some stuff wrapped around there, get that thing back upright, see if I can get her started here. It shouldn't be upside down like that. Get the tiller back up and running because there's just a few little areas I need to do a little bit of tilling to facilitate the planting. We do a lot of no-till here, folks. Once we get little rows going out there in the Bahia, little areas, it's all good. It's one crop after another. There's no need for a tiller. Everything pulls up by hand. I'm tilling with my fingers. I'm cultivating by clawing into the soil and poking seeds in, or using a little poker and then throwing out some pea seeds and then just rolling them into the little holes and pulling up some weeds cultivates there, and there's no need for any equipment. And a lot of this land here, there's no tractors, okay? It's smaller areas around trees and berms around lakes and all. As regards to the lakes, when the water levels it down like this, there's native grasses, water grasses growing up, you know, as much as 30, 40, 50 feet up from the water edge. And we're not planting anything there, folks. We don't plant anything where the water level swings up, even if it's a 2-year, 3, 4-year cycle. That's all native, okay? That's all lakeshore. We don't plant right to the lakeshore. The bahia grows where the water doesn't touch it, okay? And that's up higher. And we're very expert at growing amongst bahia, growing other productive crops, complementary crops, productive crops. And the bahia is precious. It's rhizomatic. Other things we grow are rhizomatic too, like the perennial peanut. We're doing a lot with that. So the white grain sorghum is 10 foot tall, massive. Someone commented who visited today, couldn't believe nobody sees stalks that high. It's higher than anybody's sugar cane or corn or anything like that for sure. It's, when are we going to see the seeds on that? I gotta go back out and look at it again. Wow, it's taking its time. It's growing for several months. Need to get some fresh photos of that too. I haven't been taking them just recently, and wow, what a burst of growth. It's intercropped with emerald green gongura, and then there's control plots at each end, one of white sorghum only and one of emerald green gongura. So it's a very interesting plot, and we'll be writing up some research study results. What else? Mainly it's the red hibiscus varieties. Oh yes, we just noticed our early blooming variety that we planted the most of this year has been blooming now for a few weeks, since about the first week of the month. Blooming and fruiting. The other variety, which is growing phenomenally and has more variety in the leaves and all, thinner leaves, fatter leaves and all. Today I noticed a few little tiny fruits emerging on one or two of those plants. I need to take a closer look here tomorrow and see if it's consistent and real, if it's happening, because we're looking for that. We're doing some cross cultivation between some of these, and it's going to be very meticulous with flowers that just last one day. There's some interesting work we're doing with that. We've grown some with alternating rows, so the two varieties are growing next to each other. But much of this is going to be a manual process. It's would be nice to have swarms of bees out here doing the work, but we're not set up for that in time, and we don't know how the natural pollinators are going to do it. But we're going to be on it, okay? We're going to be onto those flowers, and we're going to be marking things, and we're going to be harvesting seeds and doing some very interesting horticulture work with that. There's other varieties too, but those two main varieties, some of which are combination varieties from the previous year. So there's a lot of work to do documenting all these things and storing the seeds. There's so much with processing and storage. It's like you can never get a handle on all of it, but you got to decide on certain priorities and do the best we can. So anyways, there's other work going on, and we need to acquire more hay. I acquired a big bale of peanut hay a few days ago, and I got to tear into that and rebale it so I can store small bales for the winter. That's the story with peanut hay. It can't stay in a big bale. It needs to be rebaled so we can dry it out on a nice dry day, sunny day, and rebale it into 25-pound bales. I need to pick up some bahia hay, maybe some Bermuda grass hay, and get more peanut hay also, and I need to build more covered space for hay storage. It's imminent, folks. It has to happen now. And there's small time windows where there'll be cuttings and ability to pick up hay for the winter. So much work to do. All right, so I I've been ordering some things online for the vehicle. We recently ordered some seeds, and we got to remember what those are. Some of those things need to be planted that we haven't planted. Green onions, there's one. Green onions. Get those seeds in the ground now. I'll get some in early in the morning. I got some turnips too, some golden turnips. I want to get those in the ground. I'll do a little variety tomorrow with the seeds, at least a little bit in an area. I might get that tiller fired up in the hoop house area there, the high tunnel. There's some emerald green gongura we planted in there, but it consistently gets trimmed by goats there, so it's just a scrub along the ground, whereas other plants are 10 foot tall in protected areas. This stuff is like only a few inches tall and dense. It's kind of crazy, the growth pattern, but it's tenacious, but you know, it needs to run before it gets foraged, and that's the lack of fencing problem that really hurt us again this year. We really thought we could jump in and have the growth this year, get the crops up, but no, without the fencing, our business plan's just set back another year, you know, another year. But it's coming together. Some money is coming in, not as much as we wanted at all, not near as much, and there's so much more. We got a lot more fencing to do out here, but we kind of know how it is right now. We'll be seeking other sources for financing, more solid sources that care about the goats and have the integrity and the honesty and clarity and everything that we need to do business. I mean, we'll go into that more later, but fencing is number one. There's nothing more important than fencing. Nothing more in this world. Besides the goats themselves, of course, but the fencing is there to protect the goats. Protect the crops that feed the goats, the crops that can be sold, so we can even have the land, so that we can even have the medicines and the infrastructure, the guardian dogs getting fed, everything, the ducks. Without fencing, there's nothing. So, anybody into goats, gotta look at the numbers on that, because the materials alone cost up $3-4 a linear foot, and then the labor, can't touch the labor for that much, you know, especially on more complex fencing like we're doing. I'm doing all the labor here, so that's an opportunity cost, because I could be out in any one day earning so many hundreds of dollars working on other jobs on any of those days that I'm fencing. There's plenty of days that I need to work on fencing, but I am getting an auger. That's something I need to do tonight. I need to go ahead and order the auger. I'm going to get several different blades, because I got to dig some big ones. I'm putting in some big posts that are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 inch diameters. I like big ones. I like big H braces. Those are the H braces. Okay, the interim T-posts, most of what we do here is T-posts. T-posts. Steel T-posts. 8-footers. 1 foot in the ground, 7 foot up out of the ground. That enables us to run wire as high as 7 feet. That's over my head by a foot, right? Because I'm almost 6 feet, not quite. It's over a foot over my head. That's good. Not all deer are going to jump that high. Not all goats are going to jump out of that. Guardian dogs and such. That's what we need. That's what we need. Add to that many of our fences, perimeter fences, are double fences. A jumper has to go over one fence and then over another. So they think twice about that. They don't want to get trapped in between. They don't want to hit the fence. They don't want to deal with that. Plus, they sense that electricity there. They get a little shock coming up and testing the fence. They just turn away. But look, we're becoming an organic farm here. We're growing things. We're out in the wilds, and them critters want in. They want to taste that. They want to taste that stuff, folks. They want to eat it. They want to devour it. So we need good fencing. We are going to offer fencing to other landowners. I'll do all the labor. You buy the materials. Just let me farm some of your land on a several-year lease, and we'll deduct the cost of the labor out somehow, work something out on the lease, and we could even work in some profit share on some of the proceeds. But we want to make it a lot more attractive than a regular land leaser for your typical crops, peanuts, cotton, hay, whatever. Landowners, let's talk. I don't need that many deals. I just want a few deals because I got some super crops that I'm going to grow with high productivity here. They're not your typicals. They're much higher value. And both the winter and summer crops, different species, different plants altogether, are sold for a profit. With that said, I'm going to get out, do some other work, order some things online, do some research, follow some news, and of course I'll keep a close eye on my little goats here and try to get a good night's sleep, get well rested up for another hard day's work. Good night.